morning. I am so glad that you have joined us for worship here today. Now, this has been admittedly a pretty hard week. I think we look around and we've heard things on the news and we've watched things on our TVs or on the computer. Maybe we've listened to the adults in our lives talk about things that they just seem really hard and they seem really bad. And that's because they are hard and that's because they are bad. But as I sat and I thought about what we would talk about this morning here in worship, I thought about relationship. And I thought about how all of the things that have been hard for so long in our country have really been about relationships, or about how we don't have good relationships. And then I started thinking about God. I started praying, and in that prayer, I remembered that the God that we talk to, the God that we talk about, is a God that, at God's most basic, is a God of relationship. This is a God who is relationship. God, Christ, the Holy Spirit, these are all God in the most perfect of relationships. And that when God made us, God made each of us in God's own image. God made us to be in perfect relationship with God, with Jesus, with the Holy Spirit. And because in each of us, we have the image of God, we are also designed to be in perfect relationship with each other. But that's not what happens, right? Most of the time we're not in perfect relationship. And I think a lot of the time, and even maybe we could say definitely the last couple of days, we can see where perfect is so far away from how we would describe any of our relationships. But it doesn't mean that where we are right now is hopeless. And it doesn't mean that even though so many relationships are hard or full of struggle, that they always have to be hard or full of struggle. Because each of us, carries the blueprint for perfect relationship. And that's good news, because it means that the more we turn to follow the steps of Jesus, the more that we listen to the Holy Spirit, when the Holy Spirit gives us goosebumps and sends us out into the world, and the more that we listen to God and to where God is calling each of us to be, well, the closer we get to that redeemed and restored relationship that God keeps gathering us up and trying to bring us back to. Because we are made to be in perfect relationship with our God and with the image of God in each other. And so my prayer for each of us is that we would keep turning our heads, just like a sunflower following the sun, more and more toward Jesus, so that we can be conformed and transformed to be the people who God truly wants us to be.